CBS Sports welcomes you to the following presentation of the National Football League.
A beautiful 67-degree day here in Nashville, Tennessee. As we get ready for the kickoff, Titans won the toss. They have deferred. The Texans will receive, and momentarily we will see Houston quarterback Matt Schaub take the field.
Well, Marv, we talked about the fact he's been knocked around the last couple weeks. Had an MRI on Monday to check out that sore hip and the bruised chest. Week before, it was his knee and his shoulder. Didn't practice last Wednesday, was limited this week a little bit on Wednesday. I think the key for him, talk about not getting hit, is to be able to run the ball better, and that's something they have to stay committed to throughout the game.
And there is Trindon Holiday, second-year man out of LSU, goes only 5'5". It's his first NFL game. He is the kick returner. Rob Baronis will kick it off for Tennessee. Trindon Holiday back there instead of Danielle Manning, who is bothered by a bruised leg, although he will be in at his regular free safety spot. Trindon Holiday, a track man, can fly if he gets the opportunity. Not this time. So they'll bring it out to the 20-yard line as we check the lineups. Left guard Wake Smith had a fumble recovery touchdown last week against the Ravens. Chippy player could stir it up today. And in the backfield, as we talked about earlier, Arian Foster, the NFL's leading rusher a year ago, held to just 49 yards on 15 carries last week in the loss to the Ravens. Arian Foster, a Tennessee man in his third year out of the University of Tennessee. And this is Foster, tripped up. Picked up just a yard. The Titans defensively out of the base 4-3 with 8-year veteran Sean Smith, who has had his share of verbal confrontations. As for the linebackers, Will Witherspoon telling us the Titans did not tackle well in the last game, that loss to the Steelers. And in the secondary, Cortland Finnegan back to playing at a Pro Bowl level. And at strong safety, Jordan Babineau continues to start for the injured Chris Hope. We are just underway. It's a second down and 9 as Foster found the opening. Picked up 7 on the play. Arian Foster, 3 years back, an undrafted rookie on the practice squad. Last season, he emerged, Rich, with 1,616 yards.
Yeah, he's a special player, Marv, and you get the sense in talking to Gary Kubiak last night, they've got to focus in on the running game. It's going to be a battle of wills, but in order to have success offensively, they've got to get it done on the ground.
Jacoby Jones in motion. It's a third down and 2. And again back to the ground. Foster not able to make the cut. Short of the first down, lost a yard. Met by Sean Smith.
Well, I just want you to watch the push up on the left side. I mean, this is a great job by this defense. Penetration in short yardage situations, absolutely critical. You see right there, a big job by Dave Ball. He really gets it done with that push up the field.
The punt from Brett Hartman. Mariani on the return. A flag comes flying as Mark Mariani, the second-year player out of Montana, stopped by Joel Dreesen, is able to take it 17 yards after the 47-yard punt.
During return, illegal block in the back, receiving team, number 51. 10-yard penalty, first down.
And there is Matt Hasselbeck in his 13th season out of Boston College.
Well, Marv, we got a chance to speak to GM Mike Reinfeldt at practice on Friday. They can't be happier with the job that he has done so far. Very productive in this offense, which is new to him this year. He gives them experience and leadership at the most critical position on your football team.
Gerald McGrath was called on that penalty. A nice spin move by Chris Johnson. Spun again, but short pickup. Danielle Manning is right there, just 2 yards picked up by Johnson. Tennessee with a solid offensive line. The right guard, Jake Scott, making his 110th consecutive start. A look at the backs and receivers. We've been discussing three-time Pro Bowl man Chris Johnson. He's been a mystery since that contract holdout. Not the same guy, and Rich a bit on the indecisive side.
Tentative.
Just a yard on that play. Kareem Jackson, the left corner, able to make the tackle. Here are the Texans defensively. New defensive coordinator Wade Phillips switching to the 3-4, going with the rookie J.J. Watt, first-round pick out of Wisconsin. Titans very aware of number 56, Brian Cushing, Houston's leading tackler, Pro Bowl linebacker last year. And in the secondary, cornerback Jonathan Joseph, leading the Texans with 3 interceptions. Joseph signed as a free agent, former Cincinnati Bengal. Third down and 7. Hasselbeck. It is broken up, but a flag is down. Donnie Avery, the intended receiver, covered by Kareem Jackson. It appears to be an interference on
Pass
Jackson.
interference. Defense number 25. Automatic first down.
Well, they get the look they want. Man-to-man coverage. Donnie Avery matched up on Kareem Jackson. And this is a really nice throw here by Matt Hasselbeck, giving Avery a chance down the field. You can just see right there, Kareem Jackson panics at the end and tries to grab the shoulder.
That's a 30-yard gain. Donnie Avery signed as a free agent following the injury suffered by Kenny Britt. Here's Hasselbeck again, throwing deep down the left side, this time intended for Damian Williams, who was covered by the same man, Kareem Jackson.
I'm not surprised to see Tennessee throw it a little bit, Marv, on first down. They're going to see so much 8-9-man fronts to stop Chris Johnson. That's really going to be the focus. I think there's going to be some good opportunities on the early downs to take some shots down the field.
Rich Matt Hasselbeck telling us after practice on Friday, when he finally got a chance to play in Seattle, he was motivated by 2 factors: not being invited to the combine when he had finished up at Boston College, and not appearing in the team photo during his days on Green Bay's practice squad as Johnson took the toss. And again, not much going. I would have had it photoshopped to be able to show my friends that I was actually a member of the team.
You know, it's amazing, Marv. You think about a guy that's been in the league 13 years and how he never forgot that. Never forgot he wasn't invited to the combines, a 6th-round pick, a practice squad player, like as you said, didn't even get a chance to be in the team picture. And the fact he actually called Andy Reid, who was a coach in Philadelphia at the time, saying, hey, is there any way you can get me to the combine? And Andy said, we don't want you to the combine. We don't want other people to find out about you. But whatever motivation it's taken, it certainly worked for Matt Hasselbeck.
Hasselbeck is off the mark. That pass intended for the Titans' top receiver, Nate Washington, who was covered by Bryce McCain.
Yeah, you can see there's been a little bit of confusion as you go back and you study the tape, and you can see Matt Hasselbeck coming off the field. We watched 2 weeks ago against Pittsburgh, where not exactly on the same page at all times. He's got some young receivers in there, and he doesn't have his guy Kenny Britt.
Brett Kern back. Just crosses 40-yard line, punting to Trendon Holiday. And it carries into the end zone. 46-yard punt. We'll be back in a moment. On the left, Houston head coach Gary Kubiak in his 6th season as head coach of the Texans. What has to be considered a critical year for Gary. And Mike Munchak, Tennessee head coach in his first year taking over for the departed Jeff Fisher. Mike, a Hall of Famer, 9-time Pro Bowl player. This is Foster finding some running room. Arian Foster has the first down across the 35, stopped by Michael Griffin, the free safety. That is a 16-yard pickup.
Well, they do a nice job. They get Dwayne Brown out in front of the left tackle. You can see Arian Foster. This is what they want to do. Get him on the edge where he can use his speed and vision to get up on the second level.
First down across the 35. Play fake. Schaub with time. Schaub unloads it. Intended for Kevin Walter. Time for an NFL Today update. JB and Coach Bill Cowher.
Coach, I know you love this defensive aggressiveness here.
Yeah, Marvin Richard trying to get Mark Sanchez off to a fast start. A 3rd and 7, underneath throw to Dustin Keller, but Donald Butler rips the ball out of his hands, takes it back 37 yards. Touchdown San Diego, off to an early start. New York will have to rebound from this, JB.
Jets are driving. Marv Albert and Rich Gannon.
Well, guys, Donald Butler had a big play a couple weeks ago. Marv and I were there against Denver. He's making some big plays from that San Diego defense.
Schaub on the run was chased out of the pocket, incomplete, as Jason Jones was trying to get to Matt Schaub, who has really been whacked around the last couple of weeks. Last week, Ravens sacked him 4 times, knocked him down 7 times.
Yeah, you look at on that right arm of his, he's got some tape. Looks like that may be that heat tape that they use for the shoulder. And when we saw him last night, he said he's fine, but boy, he spent a lot of time in the training room the last 2 weeks.
Quarterbacks always say, I'm fine.
That's right.
3rd and 10 for Schaub. Overthrows the intended receiver, Jacoby Jones. So the punting unit checks in.
Well, really a nice route here by Jacoby Jones. He's got him right there. You've got to make this throw. And receivers hate it when it's high, but Matt's got to sit in there, trust the protection, and make a good throw.
Brett Hartman back at his 21. Mariani comes up. Follows the blocker. Takes it across the 45-yard line. Darryl Sharpton took him down, 39-yard punt, and a nice return for 20 yards.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. Sprint. All football, no limits. Only from Sprint. And by Pizza Hut, where we're big fans of delicious pizza deals. Only at your Pizza Hut.
Welcome back to Nashville, Tennessee. It's the first of 3 straight home games for the Titans. Houston and Indianapolis and Cincinnati. Tennessee back to the offense. 1st and 10 from their 45-yard line. Johnson, again, just a short pickup, about 3 on the play. J.J. Watt makes the tackle. Follow the NFL while on the go. The NFL's mobile apps are all new for the 2011 season. To get the apps, go to NFL.com/mobile. Javon Ringer has now come in at running back for Chris Johnson, who has not been able to get anything going to this point. 4 carries, 8 yards. On the flea flicker, Hasselbeck able to complete. And now they rule incomplete that Damian Williams did not maintain possession.
Well, I don't know why you take Chris Johnson out and bring in Javon Ringer. I think more of the focus would be on Chris Johnson running the ball, but they try the flea flicker. They want the post over the top. The post isn't there, so he does the next best thing, throwing the crossing route to Damian Williams, but he gets lit up by Jonathan Joseph. What a big hit.
And as you can hear, the crowd did not like the call. They thought it was a good catch. Ringer remains in the backfield. It's a 3rd down and 7. 6 minutes gone by here in the first, and there's no score. Out of the shotgun. Hasselbeck, and it's dropped. Dropped by Lavelle Hawkins.
Well, they bring pressure and then drop off the other side, and you can see Matt Hasselbeck. He's trying to find his rhythm, and that's always important, Mara. I hate it starting games out, 0 for 4, 0 for 5, and you've got to find a way to get him comfortable. You can see him conversing there on the sidelines with Lavelle Hawkins. They're just not on the same page right now, quarterback and receiver.
2nd punt for Kern. Trenton Holiday is back at his 10. Beautiful punt. And the fair catch is made. A 44-yard punt, not allowing a return. We'll take a break. You are watching the NFL on CBS. Rich, here at the start, a lot of zeros up there when we look at the quarterback stats.
Looks like one of my old games.
No.
But, honestly,
you're so humble.
You want to try and find a way. We talked about getting the quarterbacks off to a good start. Even if it's a screen or a quick three-step throw, I think that's important for both quarterbacks. Problem is they've not been good on the early downs, and now they've gotten some big numbers on third down. Houston 0 for 2 on third down, Tennessee 0 for 2 as well.
Texans starting out from their 8-yard line. Arian Foster is below setback. They go double tight end. You saw Daniels in motion going left to right. Foster squeezing his way across the 10-yard line. Picked up 4, met by Babineau.
Well, you look at the difference the first 4 weeks where Houston was running the ball so well, Marv, and in the last 2 games, I mean, everything down. Rushing attempts, yards per rush, rushing touchdowns. And, this is something that's been a point of emphasis throughout the week. When you talk about practice, they've got to find a way to get number 23 rocking and rolling.
2nd and 6 for Houston. Play fake by Schaub. Titans fooled momentarily. And Jacoby Jones picking up the first down. Made the catch. Good for 7.
Well, they do such a good job with the play action and the stretch, but the tight end sneaking out and then Schaub, of course, coming out on the keeper. When you run the ball as well as they do on the perimeter, there's always big plays. And if the tight end's not there, he does the next best thing, coming back down the sidelines to Jacoby Jones.
First down for the 19. Nice play fake. Schaub sidearms it. Arian Foster on the reception. Picked up 6, met by Will Witherspoon.
Well, play action is a big part of who they are and what they do because they have run the ball so well. And a lot of the big plays come off the play action game where you get these throwbacks to the tight ends and backs down the field. And that's really what you have to defend if you're the Tennessee Titans. You cannot allow them to run behind you in the secondary.
Schaub looking at a 2nd and 4. On the end around, Jacoby Jones, his trap had nowhere to go and lost on the play. Lost 5. Forced out by Cortland Finnegan. Time for another update. JB and Coach Bill Cowher.
Marv, here's why Bears fans are clamoring, pay for Tay.
Yeah, he's the heart and soul of their team, JB takes a 32-yard run outside, back inside, and Chicago on the board first over in London.
Forte, 58 yards rushing on that drive. 7-0 Bears. Marv and Rich.
All right, JB. Rich, you ever play overseas?
Yes, never in London, but I've played in Berlin, I've played in Mexico, and of course I played in Tokyo.
Is Mexico overseas?
No, it's close enough.
No. Right. Foster broke tackles. Gets across the 45. That's a 27-yard catch and run. Barrett Ruud made the stop. I'm checking the map here. Mexico.
Well, I meant out of the country. You know what I meant. You talk about how good Chris Johnson can be in the passing game, and Arian Foster is much the same way, whether it's the screens or the checkdowns. All you want to do is get him the ball in space. He can be very good, very effective last year. He had 66 catches for over 600 yards.
First down at the 47. This is Ben Tate who just came off of Arian Foster. He broke a tackle. Has a first down. Ben Tate, second-year man out of Auburn. Little extracurricular activity. Out of bounds as Michael Griffin made the stop on Tate, who missed all of last year. His rookie season suffered a
After the play, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, defense number 92, late hit out of bounds, 15-yard penalty, first down.
We're looking for number 92. It's Will Witherspoon is what he is saying, but might have been Jason Jones, number 91.
Yeah, a little late push there. And Well, you watch Ben Tate. He can lower the boom now right here. You look at the knockback, how he pushes back Michael Griffin, a pretty physical, strong safety.
And it was Jason Jones. First down at the Tennessee 28-yard line. Here's Tate once again. I started to say he missed all of last year. His rookie season, Tate went for 3 on that play, suffering a season-ending leg injury in the first. Can you imagine this, Rich? The first preseason game put him out.
Yeah, not a good thing. But, you know, the great thing about Houston, they've got the only team in the AFC with 2 300-yard rushers, both Tate and Foster. And when Arian Foster needs a blow, you bring in a fresh back like Ben Tate. Both can be very productive in this scheme.
Now Foster returns, 2nd down and 7. Foster trying to follow the blocker, gets inside the 20-yard line. Picked up 6. Jason McCourty, the left corner, made the stop. Houston Texans at 3-3, but they have dropped 3 of the last 4, including their last 2. They started at 3-1, losing their last 2 at home to Oakland. Baltimore last week. They have wins over the Colts, the Dolphins, and the Steelers. And the losses at New Orleans in a 40-33 shootout, and then the last 2 games. 3rd at about a yard. Lined up in the offset arm. Nice move as Foster has a first down.
Well, they do a really nice job. They want to run to the strong side, but just watch Arian Foster. If it's not there, he's always has the ability to wind it back to that backside gap. They do a nice job cutting off the backside. You see Mike Breesel there. You look at this zone run scheme, the thing that they do on the backside of runs, they do a good job cutting off the defense and getting up on the second level.
Ben Tate returns to the backfield. This is Tate running wide, and he is ankle tackled. Looked to make the move, but Dave Ball was right there. They make the Jarrell Casey on the tackle.
Well, they like the big rookie, and you can see good push there. Watch Jarrell Casey come off now, and he's going to make this tackle. Not only does he make the tackle, but he rips off his shoe just to boot. But they've gotten bigger up front, Marv, and it's made a difference. This is a year ago. They really struggled stopping the run. That's why they went out and drafted Casey and Klug. They signed Sean Smith. Bigger bodies on the inside who can hold up in the running game.
This is the 11th play of the drive for the Texans. Schaub swings it out to Foster, and a flag is down. Cortland Finnegan coming up.
Hands to the face. Offense number 76. 10-yard penalty. 2nd down.
It's on the left tackle, Dwayne Brown.
Well, penalties in this part of the field, and we talked to Matt Schaub, Marv, last night about it. I said, Matt, where are the areas you need to be better today? He said 3rd down, but he also said red zone production. He said we've gotten down here and we've made mistakes. Those type of mistakes, penalties that push you behind and back in the down and distance.
Well, this one pushes them back to a 2nd and 21. The ball at the Tennessee 27-yard line, coming up on 2 minutes to play in the first. Dangerous pass thrown by Schaub over the middle. Pressure from Will Witherspoon forcing the pass.
Well, this one's tough. They don't even block Will Witherspoon. And good thing Matt gets rid of this, but he takes another hit, and that's what we talk about. You look at this Tennessee defense, how they're built, what they believe in and preach. Never let a quarterback get comfortable back there in the pocket. You've got to get hits on them early to discourage them.
Now Kevin Walker flanks wide to the left. It's a 3rd down and 21. It is an inside handoff. Foster finding the hole, gets to the 14-yard line. Tackled by the free safety, Michael Griffin. A 13-yard run, but short of a first down, and the field goal unit will come on.
Yeah, and you think 3rd and a bunch in that part of the field. You think screen or draw, a nice little inside run there to Arian Foster. And just want to make sure you don't do anything to hurt yourself. And not give Neil Rackers a chance for a chip shot.
This from 32 yards out. Rackers 12 for 13 for the season. The holder is the punter, Brett Hartman. So the Texans on the board. Rackers hits from 32 with a minute 25 remaining. First quarter.
Stays that way.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by the 2011 GMC Sierra. This truck month, there is no better time to trade up to the best Sierra. And by Allstate. Dollar for dollar, nobody protects you from mayhem like Allstate.
Second-year man from Montana, Mark Mariani, averaging 28 yards per kickoff return, although has not had many opportunities, only 5 with so many touchbacks this year with the kickoff taking place at the 35. Here's Rackers putting it into the end zone, and Mariani will run it out. And he is hit hard, and looks like he lost the ball. Was he able to cover up? Yeah, he did. 14-yard return for Mariani on that hard hit. Houston with a 3-0 lead on Tennessee. Marv Albert, Rich Gannon. We are in Nashville. It is a battle for first in the AFC South. Titans 3-2, Texans 3-3, and a flag is thrown as Hasselbeck takes the snap.
False start. Offense number 73. Half the distance to the goal. First down.
It's on the right guard, Jake Scott. Referee Terry McCauley wasting no time getting to the cross.
He was quick. He had a quick gun there, didn't he?
Third penalty on the Titans. It cost them 30 yards.
I think the center might have been a little late there with the snap, Marv, as it went back and looked at it. Called on Jake Scott.
Penalties hurting the Titans 2 weeks ago in the game against the Steelers, and there's some movement and more flags.
It's one way to get it right back. Nice job by Matt Hasselbeck with the hard count. Doesn't hurt you in this part of the field.
Neutral zone infraction. Defense number 99. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Called on the rookie J.J. Watt.
And this can really help the offensive line when you've got a quarterback like the Matt Hasselbeck who will mix in, change up the snap count a little bit. Don't let that defensive line tee off and get a jump start on the cadence or the snap.
First and 9 at the 10. And that's the first completion for Hasselbeck, connecting with Damian Williams. An advance of 5. Darryl Sharpton on the tackle. Tonight on CBS, travel to Bangkok, where it's 4th and long for the former tight end Marcus Pollard and his wife. Don't miss a new Amazing Race. That's tonight only. CBS. Chris Johnson and Ahmad Hall are the running backs. This is Johnson trying to get outside, and nothing there. Looks like he lost the ball under that pileup. Darryl Sharpton was able to knock it free, but it is recovered by the Titans.
Well, we've seen a couple big hits already today from Jonathan Joseph. Just watch. He's going to come into your screen right here at the corner, puts his helmet right in on the ball, and I think he also gets some help over the top from Sharpton. And Chris Johnson very fortunate that they were able to scoop that one back up. Jonathan Joseph making some hits today, Mark.
Joseph, the right corner, 6-year man out of South Carolina. It's a 3rd down and 3 at the 16. Again, you see movement and a couple of flags.
Neutral zone infraction. Defense number 98. 5-yard penalty. First down.
It's Connor Barwin. Now, Barwin and Brooks Reed have been rotating weak side, strong side with the absence of the injured Mario Williams.
Yeah, they actually moved Connor Barwin over. They want to move him to the weak side so he can go up against the bigger tackles. He's a little bit bigger body than a Brooks Reed, and then Brooks Reed goes to the strong side where I think he'll be better against the tight ends.
And that'll do it for this first quarter here in Nashville. The Texans with a 3-0 lead on the Titans. Back to Tennessee after these words. You're watching the NFL on CBS. The second quarter about to get underway. Not an enthralling series with a number of penalties called. And each club guilty as we resume 1st and 10 for the Titans. Straight ahead move by Johnson. Picked up just 2 on the play. Brian Cushing right there, and the running game has not been able to get going here in this first half. Now, Rich, we were watching practice on Friday. You were taking a good look at Chris Johnson. What is going on with Chris Johnson?
Well, we've talked about him being a little tentative and indecisive at times in the hole, Marvin. I think you look at the fact he missed all of preseason, so essentially those first 4 weeks of the season, I think more than anything, conditioning was a bit of a factor, but it's time for him to turn it on. He has not looked good. I think he's got to become a better practice player.
Chris Johnson making the catch for the first down and some more, gets across the 40, so they get the ball in his hands in open space, and he goes for 17. Clover Quinn makes the stop. Set for an update. Let's go to JB and Bill Cowher.
Mark Sanchez looking for a spark, going Plexico Burris' way.
Yeah, this was on a previous play, was a touchdown called back by Holden, but this time Eric Wells comes down with the interception. 2 New York Jet turnovers already early in this game.
7-3, San Diego in the second. Marv and Rich.
All right, guys, from the studio, there was a lot of talk about Mark Sanchez earlier as Chris Johnson gets the call. Picked up a yard. J.J. Watt making the stop.
Well, you look, we talk about Chris Johnson, Marvin, the struggles that he's had. I thought it was interesting sitting down with Wade Phillips last night, defensive coordinator for the Houston Texans, and I asked him what his thoughts were. He said, they're running the same plays, and, he made those big plays before when the blocking wasn't great. He just hasn't run it as well this year, and I think that's the problem. I mean, you can look at a lot of different issues. He's got to run harder, and it all starts in practice.
Well, only 7 carries, 13 yards for Johnson. Javon Ringer now in the backfield for this second down. And 9. Hasselbeck has a wide open receiver with a flag thrown. It's Nate Washington. Pushed out of bounds, but a penalty marker thrown back at the 46-yard line.
Pass interference. Offense number 17. 10-yard penalty. Second down.
It is called on the Titans wide receiver Damian Williams.
Well, when you see press man-to-man coverage, what you're going to get is you're going to get the old pick play. Real nice job by Matt Hasselbeck changing the play. But if you're Damian Williams, you can't go in there and actually block or get your shoulder in the way. You have to avoid contact and collision, and he clearly doesn't do it in that situation. Well, that could have been a big play.
And it's a good reason that Nate Washington was that open, but they bring it back to the 31. It'll be a 2nd and 19. Now Ringer flanked wide to the left. Hasselbeck underneath. The tight end Stevens with a short pickup. Time for an NFL Today update. Once again, JB and Coach Cowher.
Tampa's D getting them on the board.
Yeah, after back-to-back interceptions, JB here, Matt Forte runs sideways, but Rondé Barber, a good tackle, gets Tampa Bay on the board. Chicago, 7-2.
104 left in the first. Back to Marv and Rich.
7-2. It sounds like a baseball game, Marv, huh?
They may be perhaps confused overseas.
That's right. They get excited about field goals and extra points.
Not sure about cricket scoring, but it's a 3rd down and 8. Hasselbeck in trouble, able to avoid it, and completes. It appears he has the first down on forward progress. Nate Washington coming back for the ball to make the catch. It is a Tennessee first down.
Marv, you bring up a great point. Great job by Nate Washington actually coming back to the ball. You can see Hasselbeck, he's scrambling all around. It's just a really nice play by Washington. You see Hasselbeck, it's not there. He moves around. This is not really what he's known for. He's looking to his right. He wants somebody over there to come back. It takes Nate Washington in the middle of the field to work all the way back to his quarterback. Good job adjusting on the fly.
First reception by the Titans leading receiver Nate Washington. Hasselbeck throwing one deep downfield, and it is intercepted. Danielle Manning leaping for it and coming up with the pick, his second of the season, so the ball back to the Texans. Following the interception by Danielle Manning, we saw hobbling around. Now he's being helped off the field. Danielle Manning coming into today with a bruised leg. The reason that he is not returning kickoffs. They activated Trendon Holiday. Manning, the one-time member of the Chicago Bears, had a big game last week with 11 tackles. Texans start out at their 13-yard line. Schaub throws downfield. Nice catch made by the tight end Owen Daniels getting to midfield. Jordan Babineau was able to catch him, but it's a 34-yard pass play. Owen Daniels, 6-year man out of Wisconsin, made the Pro Bowl a couple of years back, and he's also back from major knee surgery. Here's another look.
Well, they do a nice job. The tight end's going to start down. He works all the way back to his left. They love these throwback passes where they get the matchups with the tight end on the linebackers.
First down from the 47. Foster finding a hole. He goes for 6, met by Jordan Babineau. Babineau playing for the injured Chris Hope, who's out with that broken forearm. It is a 3-0 lead for Houston with 5 minutes gone by in this second quarter. The head coach, Gary Kubiak, who was born and raised in Houston, was a ball boy for the old Houston Oilers when Wade Phillips, now his defensive coordinator, was head coach of the Oilers. Foster, good tackles, and then took a good pop, but he has a first down. Michael Griffin made the stop, 10 yards for Arian Foster.
And a lot of his big runs right now, Marv, are coming backside. He's starting to the front side and winding it all the way back. We talked about how the Texans do a good job cutting off the backside, whether they cut you on the ground, whether they get up on the second level and get hats on the back. You're going to do a really good job if you're the Titans, making sure you keep Arian Foster front side.
Nice start for Foster, 10 carries, 65 yards. Ben Tate is back in the lineup. Tate, the ball carrier. Met by a crowd and picked up 3.
Well, the difference so far in this game, Houston having a lot more success running the football right now than the Tennessee Titans, and that's been the difference, because when you run the ball, of course, you've got opportunities off of that for the big shots down the field in the play action game, and Gary Kubiak doing a good job staying committal to the run game.
Texans have a 2nd and 7 at the Tennessee 33. Schaub going underneath again. It's the tight end Daniels, and has a first down. Stopped by Witherspoon, and a flag is tossed. This has been a penalty-filled opening half. A total of 9
Personal
calls.
foul, unnecessary roughness, defense. Half this is the goal, forearm to the head. Automatic first down.
All right, no indication as to who threw that forearm. Let's take a look.
Well, it's Akeem Ayers. It's actually a helmet-to-helmet collision. Right there you can see him leading with the head. And they're going to call that every time. Owen Daniels never saw that one coming.
Akeem Ayers, the strong side linebacker, rookie out of UCLA. There he is. First down at the Titans 12. Foster went to the edge, not able to make the turn. Picked up a yard, met by Cortland Finnegan. Cortland Finnegan, a guy who plays with great energy, the inspirational leader. Of course, Opposition players have a different point of view about Cortland Finnegan.
Yeah, he can be a bit of a troublemaker, but I love watching him play, Mar. He plays with a chip on his shoulder. He's very physical. He shows up and runs support. Very good cover man. And they move him around. You'll see him inside in the slot. Great versatility in Jerry Gray's scheme.
Second down and 9, and now a timeout is called. Called by Houston.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by FedEx. FedEx does more than shipping. FedEx, solutions that matter. E-Trade, investing unleashed. And by Frost Brewed Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer.
That's a nice shot. The Cumberland River here in Nashville as we welcome you back to LP Field. And the Texans are on the move. Jobs pass, touchdown. Joe Dreesen, the tight end, with his second touchdown of the season. It's a 10-yard play, and the Texans have extended the lead.
Well, they do a really nice job. They just have trips to the left. You see Dreesen, he's just going to run a little stick route, a deep stick route, knowing that they've got someone going to the corner and certainly another receiver, Owen Daniels, going to the flat. But a really nice job by Matt Schaub sorting through the traffic.
Here is Neil Rackers for the extra point. Houston 10 and Tennessee nothing. Halfway through second quarter. 7 plays, 87 yards, a shade under 3.5, capped off by the touchdown pass to the tight end Joel Dreesen. The Texans have a 10-0 lead on the Titans as Neil Rackers gets set to kick it away to Mark Mariani, who's halfway through his end zone. And again, will not be able to run it out. Let's see what Matt Hasselbeck and the Titan offense can do when we come back.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by the What? The Accord from Honda. And by Geico, where 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Coming up on the Sprint Halftime Report, join JB, Dan, Shannon, Boomer, and Coach Cowher for all the latest NFL scores and highlights coming up on the Sprint Halftime Report.
Well, this is an important drive, I think, Marv, for the Titans to get something going. They're struggling right now. Just 56 yards of offense. Chris Johnson hasn't done much. 7 carries, 13 yards. Matt Hasselbeck struggling as well, just 4 of 9.
Now the pitch to Johnson. He is hit for, perhaps picked up 3 on the play. Connor Barwin making that tackle.
Well, you look at the Titans' first 3 possessions. I mean, they're just struggling, and Hasselbeck has not been in rhythm, just 4 of 9. He's had some overthrows. Just doesn't seem like he's on the same page with the receivers. And you look around that huddle, somebody in that huddle needs to make a play and get this crowd back in the game.
Titans coming off their bye week. That was the case last season. They certainly had their problems. No problem right there as the catch is made out at the 40-yard line by Jared Cook. Cook at 6'5", 250 pounds, picking up 17 on the play.
A really nice job by Jared Cook. He's just going to work down the middle of the field. You see D'Amico Ryans just working across in that zone defense, and he's a big target, as you mentioned, Marv, 6'5", and he's a guy that Matt Hasselbeck said has to have a big day against these Houston linebackers.
First down at the 40-yard line. Play action. Hasselbeck throwing it into the ground. Did not want to take a chance. Ahmad Hall, the fullback in the area. Hall in his second game back, he was on the suspended list first 4 games, violating the NFL's policy on performance-enhancing substances.
They do a nice job. They actually Connor Barr, when you're going to see him, he's covering Mod Hall the whole time there. Matt's got nowhere to throw. You can see the screen developing out in front. Just a good alert play on the backside.
And the play fake. And once again, Hasselbeck puts it on the ground. Daniel Graham in the area.
Yeah, really nice job. We mentioned the injury to Daniel Manning. Troy Nolan comes in now. He's covering Graham, and just seems like they're playing a little more man-to-man coverage, matching up. And Tennessee is not winning the one-on-one battles.
And the report on Daniel Manning, a lower left leg injury. He came into the game with a problem, and his return is questionable. Third down and 10. And Hasselbeck goes deep downfield, and it is dropped. Damian Williams would have had to have made a very tough catch, covered by Jason Allen, and Williams shake it up. An official timeout as the Titans staff is out to take a look at the second-year man out of University of Southern Cal, Damian Williams.
Well, I always say, Marv, it's a lot easier if you just catch it the first time. And Damian Williams, he's got a really good look at this. I mean, right there, it goes through his hands, and then what happens is Jason Allen comes in and tries to pull that right hand back. Watch his face just slap against the ground. That hurts. Nothing to really break his fall.
Now the punting unit comes on. Brett Kern with Trenton Holloway back deep. We have not been able to see any of the speed of Holloway. He has not had an opportunity. This one over his head, and then bounces out of bounds. 54-yard punt, and a good one. Tuesday on CBS, can a cop who remembers everything solve a crime without a victim? Don't miss a new episode of TV's #1 drama, Unforgettable. That's Tuesday only, CBS.
Well, it's been interesting. You talk about how Houston has had to adjust, Marv, without Andre Johnson. I think they're seeing a lot more 8-man front, a lot more blitz and pressure on third downs, but they've handled it really well through the first half.
Texans start out at their 6-yard line. Arian Foster, who has run well in this first half, not much there.
I think a big reason why they're winning the battle is the job that the offensive line is doing up front. I mean, they work well together as a unit. I think one of the main reasons this team is playing better, and one of the things that Gary Kubiak did was adjust and go out and fix this offensive line. He went out and got the quarterback, but he fixed and addressed the offensive line, and they have played well as a unit.
Second down and 9 from the 7. And Schaub able to complete up at the 15 to Kevin Walter. For Walter, that's his first catch of the day. It's good for 8.
You look at how well they've done in the first half. They get off to fast starts. Look at the scoring differential. And, that's been impressive. The problem that they've had leads in all 6 of their games heading into the fourth quarter, and they've not been able to close out and finish. But the issues have not been in the first half. They've been a very good first half team.
And Rich, those numbers include what has taken place here this afternoon. It's a 3rd and 1 at the 15. Schaub's pass is caught and a flag is thrown. Derek Mason on the reception. Cortland Finnegan with the tackle. Derek Mason, who came over in the trade with the Jets.
Defense number 31. Penalties decline. First down.
And the penalty was called on Finnegan. So Derek Mason with his 4th catch as a member of the Texans and his 941st career reception. He is now number 11 on the all-time list, passing by Art Monk.
92.
Number 1, fellow by the name of Jerry Rice, one-time teammate of yours, Rich. A wide-open Arian Foster makes the cut, puts the speed on. He goes all the way. 78 yards for the touchdown. Well, the Houston Texans going without their all-pro wide receiver, one of the best in the game, Andre Johnson, who may be back for next week against Jacksonville. But Matt Schaub having no difficulties after the slow start finding his receivers.
And they're really hurting this Tennessee defense, Marv, with the stretches and the nakeds and the boots off of the play action. I mean, that's where the big plays are coming. It's because they're running the ball so well on the early downs.
A career-long reception for Foster. Here is Rackers for the extra point. And that is a career-long pass from Matt Schaub, and you can hear the boos from this Tennessee crowd.
Well, we're back here in Tennessee, and we talk about the misdirection and how it's hurt this Tennessee defense. You know, keep an eye. Here's Arian Foster. Schaub's going to come out, but just watch the reaction from this defense. Everybody starts running to their left and following Schaub, and Schaub's going to pull up, and he finds Arian Foster sneaking out of the back of the formation. Here's a missed tackle right here, poor angle. Griffin tries to recover. You're not going to catch a guy like Arian Foster in the open field, but because they run that stretch play so well, very difficult to defend the boots and the nakeds off of it.
It is a 17-0 lead for the Texans. And a strong kick by Rackers. No return by Mariani. Coming up on the Sprint halftime report, JB, Dan, Shannon, Boomer, Coach Bill Cowher will have all the latest NFL scores and highlights coming up on the Sprint halftime report. How about the last three drives by Houston producing 260 yards? Hand off to Johnson, and he is stacked up. And again, they are booing the Titans here in Nashville.
Well, I think they're disappointed with Chris Johnson. Marv, we talked about the lack of production there, and you know, you keep saying to yourself that this is eventually going to happen. They'll eventually get this running game going. We've been saying that for a couple weeks now. And, you know, I think everyone's got to be better. But it's just not happening. They're not able to get it going here in the first half.
That pass is battered, but was recovered by Johnson. Johnson playing the deflection for a loss. Earl Mitchell getting a piece of that one, and it's a loss of 9.
Well, he probably would have been better batting it down and not catching it. The only thought there is maybe he thought it was a lateral. You know, these backs are taught when they go out there for the quick screen to make sure that if it's on the line or if it's at all going backwards, to make sure they field it.
And look at the differential with those numbers. Hasselbeck. It was bobbled. Johnson with nowhere to go. It's a 6-yard pickup, but the punting team will come on. Antonio Smith was all over Chris Johnson.
Well, the problems that they're having, Marv, is that they're struggling on the early downs, and they've gotten some big numbers on third down. I mean, a lot of third and longs are just 1 of 5 in those situations.
And we've hit the 2-minute warning. It's been all Houston. 17-0 over Tennessee. The Texans jumping all over the Titans in this first half as Trenton Holiday with some open field ready to receive the punt from Brett Kern. Holiday, an all-time All-American, 8-time All-American in track and field at LSU. But again, has to take a fair catch. So they have not allowed any runbacks for the Speedy Holiday 37-yard punt, but no return.
Well, Marvin, Arian Foster has had a big first half so far, not just on the ground where he's made a lot of big runs, particularly on the perimeter against this Tennessee defense, but also through the air. Big catch here where he goes the distance. And no Houston player has ever had 100 yards rushing and 100 yards receiving in the same game. He's already has 110 through the air and 68 on the ground. Look at that total yards, 178 for Arian Foster, just 73 for the Titans.
Arian Foster turning it from the game against the Ravens. 15 carries, 49 yards, dropped a couple of passes.
Yep.
Jobs pass. Owen Daniels has a first down. That's good for 18. Babineau and McCourty make the stop. First down just outside the Tennessee 30-yard line. Foster picked up 2 on the play as Barrett Ruud was right there.
Well, they're just on a roll right now. You can just see Schaub getting in and out of the huddle quick, but they're just playing with so much confidence. They're having success on the ground as well as through the air.
Coming up on a minute left in this first half. And again, the completion right at the marker. It's Kevin Walter. An advance of 9. Kevin Walter last season, 51 catches, 5 touchdowns. Also an excellent blocker. Timeout is taken by the Texans, so they have 1 remaining. Hey, if you didn't see Inside the NFL last week, you missed guests like Bill Belichick, Charles Barkley, and an hour of NFL Films highlights. Who will join the best team in football this week? Don't miss Inside the NFL Wednesdays on Showtime.
We talked about how important it is. We talk about location on throws. Look at this throw from Matt Hasselbeck. Will Witherspoon's right there, but look at a perfect throw and catch gets it done. And we've seen a number of them already from Schaub today. He's in rhythm. The ball's coming out. Look how he started. 0 for 4, but a perfect 11 for 11 since.
And working with 1:05 remaining in the half. And out of the gun, Schaub swings it out. Foster hit down low at the 15 by McCourty.
Well, Tennessee not getting any real good pressure on Schaub. Marvin, that's one of the reasons why he's had so much success throwing the ball. He's in rhythm, he's trusting the protection, and the ball is coming out quick.
Picked up 5. It's a 2nd and 5. Then good protection for Schaub. And then it breaks down and he throws it away.
He knows what his limitations are. When he's running to his left, he's just trying to find someone open, but does the next best thing and throws it away. Very good decision there. It stops the clock. It gives him a chance to regroup and try and find a way to make a conversion. Nice job, though, by pumping. That just slows down this defense a little bit. You can see Barrett Ruud come in there, gets him off his feet. Not the best runner, but he does enough to move around to create some holes in the defense.
3rd down and 5 at the 15. It's Foster in motion, lining up on the right side. Makes the reception. He's looking for the marker, try to extend it as he was tripped up by McCourty. Clock is running. We're down to 20 seconds remaining of the half. Picked up 4, so just short of the first down. And apparently they're going to let the clock roll down to 3 seconds to set up the field goal attempt.
A really nice drive there, Marv. You think about they got the ball back. And
now Texans with the timeout. And Neil Rackers will come on, as we touched on earlier. This the first time that Tennessee and Houston are meeting with first place on the line. Tennessee comes in at 3-2 off their bye week. Houston at 3-3 with the 2 straight losses, and they had started at 3-1, then they dropped 3 out of 4. 29-yard attempt here by Rackers. Earlier hit from 32. So the Texans, with time running out in this first half, now lead the Titans 20-0. You are watching the NFL on CBS. A wide open Arian Foster. He goes all the way. 78 yards for the touchdown. Back in Nashville, Marv Albert along with Rich Gannon. It has been all Houston Texans in the first half, 20-0 lead. And we talked about earlier the fact that Tennessee coming off a bye week. Teams have not fared well this year coming off the bye week. In fact, flashing back to last season, Tennessee loses 7 of its next 8 after their bye week.
Yeah, particularly these byes that come early in the season. I think you're still trying to find your rhythm, trying to get Chris Johnson started, and it just hasn't happened. I think it's hurt them more than it's certainly helped a team like the Texans. They want to play. They got to get this thing turned around. They lose 2 in a row, so they've played much better here in the first half.
Matt Schaub outstanding in the first half, and we'll take a look at the NFL Mobile Recap presented by Verizon, and this that big play with Schaub connecting with Arian Foster, 78 yards and a touchdown to help break it open. Arian Foster with an outstanding first half. 13 carries, 71 yards, 3 catches, 110 yards, much of that on the touchdown reception. Schaub, 13 of 18, 220 yards, 2 touchdowns. Neil Rackers getting set to kick it away to Mark Mariani. And he will actually return it. Then coughs it up. But recovered by Tennessee. Recovered by Jamie Harper, backup running back.
Well, total dominance by the Houston Texans in the first half. Look at 303 yards of offense, just 73 for the Titans. This is an important drive, Marv. They've got to get something going. They converted just 1 first down in the first half, and you look at Chris Johnson's numbers, 19 carries, just 16 yards.
Tennessee from its 16. Play action, and Hasselbeck's pass batted away. This time it is Connor Barwin who got a piece of it.
He's made some really nice plays, Connor Barwin. You look at, we talked about how important, Marv, it was to get this running game going. This is a disturbing trend when you look at the numbers. Second in the National Football League in 2009, 17th in 2010. And look at that dead last this year, just 66 yards a game on the ground. That's not something that Mike Munchak is proud of.
Chris Johnson continues to struggle. That is just shy of a first down. Chris Johnson on the catch, stopped by Brian Cushing. Picked up 9 on the play. You look back to the meetings between these two teams last year in the loss by Tennessee in Houston in late November. Johnson held to 5 yards on 7 carries in the Tennessee win over Houston last December right here in Nashville. Johnson had a big game, 130 yards and a touchdown. Again, Johnson not able to get much. He was looking for the first down. And he did pick it up.
Well, you look at those numbers. Look at this largest halftime deficit in the last 5 years. They go all the way back to the 2006 against the Giants. And that's why I think this is really an important drive, Marv. They've got to get something going offensively. This crowd has been quiet through the first half.
Mike, go.
Johnson and Hall lined up in the offset eye. Off the play fake. Nice catch made by Donnie Avery. And now they say he was out of bounds, so it is incomplete. Donnie Avery has been a target of Matt Hasselbeck. He attempted his first pass in his direction.
Well, he definitely gets the right foot down. It looks like that left foot just touches the line, and trying to get Donnie Avery more work. There was some carryover in the system he spent with St. Louis. They thought that would help get him on the field more.
He had a couple of big years with the Rams, 53 catches, 47 catches. He's had injury problems. He was signed after the injury sideline Kenny Britt. Almost picked off. Well, in talking with Titans players last couple of days, they all said look out for number 56, and that is Brian Cushing, who is all over the field and nearly came up with this.
Well, they really like Brian Cushing. They're very comfortable. You see him, they can put him out there on the slot and let him match up against smaller receivers. You see him up against Donnie Avery. They love to blitz him, and he's a guy that will stay on the field in all of their sub packages.
3rd down and 10 from the 27. Hasselbeck goes short range to Johnson. And again, you hear the reaction from the crowd as the punting team will check back in.
And that's not an easy tackle in the open field, but Brian Cushing does a great job of it. Such a great athlete. He and D'Amico Ryans, I think, two very good linebackers on the inside of this 3-4 defense.
Cushing Pro Bowl last season, Defensive Rookie of the Year 3 years back. 5th punt by Brett Kern. Trendon Holiday chasing it. They try to trap Holiday, picked up a block and a flag.
During their turn, illegal block in the back, receiving team number 22. 10-yard penalty, 1st down, timeout.
So 52-yard punt, 3-yard return, but the call on Shirk McManus. Houston ball when we come back.
They're back here in Tennessee. You look at the last 4 possessions and how good they've been. They all resulted in scores. And Tennessee not getting enough pressure right now on Matt Schaub.
And here's Schaub on play action. It's a nice way to get yourself out of difficulty. Kevin Walter with the catch, Jordan Babineau with the tackle, and that's a 20-yard pass play.
Well, the play action does a nice job sucking up the linebackers. You can see Cortland Finnegan thinking he's got some help in the middle, but I've always liked Kevin Walter, Marv, because he's a big body, 6'3", about 220 pounds, and he's very comfortable working in the middle of the field.
3rd catch of the day for Walter, 1st out at the 28-yard line. Foster with another 1st down and some additional yardage. Pushed out by Michael Griffin, and that's good for 16.
Well, Arian Foster is so fun to watch. He starts down. How many times have we already seen this thing? Now watch how quick he can make this cut and get back up to full speed. And they have not done a good job on the backside of runs where Arian Foster has been winding them back all day.
In Houston's win over Tennessee last season, Arian Foster ran for 143. This is Ben Tate fighting the opening. Another Houston 1st down. Well, here come the boos.
They're just getting so much movement up front. You look at the right side of that Houston offensive line. They're pushing them back, and they're really winning the battle in the trenches. And you look at this big hole that Ben Tate has to cruise right on through. I mean, anyone can get through there. And that's really a nice job by that offensive line.
Ben Tate has run well once again. A 2nd-round draft pick last year out of Auburn. Again to the ground to Tate. finding the running room, breaks a tackle. He's inside the 20 and taken down inside the 15 by Barrett Ruud. 24-yard run by Tate.
They just look like the much fresher team. You have to ask yourself, which team is coming off the bye? Is it Houston or Tennessee? And you can see these linebackers, they're overrunning it, and then the backside cuts in that A-gap between the guard and the center. That's where the big runs are coming for Foster and Tate.
But isn't it one of those situations, Rich, if you play well coming off the bye, they say, hey, we're well rested. If you don't play well, it's too much rest. We couldn't get back into it. Now Foster with a hard driving move.
It just seems like these buys that have come so early, the first 4 or 5 weeks of the season, It's been tough. These teams have not played particularly well. And you got to look at the fact that they have not played in training camp, in the offseason program, how that's had an impact on some of these teams getting off the slow starts. That's why it's been so important for a guy like Chris Johnson the first 5 or 6 weeks of the season.
Well, it looks like Barrett Ruud is hurt. And we'll take a break with a shade over 5 minutes gone by here in the third.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. Scottrade. See for yourself why so many investors are saying I'm with Scottrade. And by the 2011 Ford F-150, built Ford tough.
Well, they're checking out Barrett Ruud. Tim Shaw has come on to replace Ruud.
You just watch him in the middle of the screen here. He's going to stick out his right arm, and that's like it's like train hitting you.
2nd down and 6. Nice catch made by the tight end Daniels. And it'll be 1st and goal for the Texans. A 9-yard advance. Daniels taken down by Babineau.
Well, you've got to do a good job accounting for these different tight ends in this Houston offense. If it's not Owen Daniels, it's Joel Dreesen. And they are winning those battles in the middle of the field between the numbers against these linebackers and safeties.
1st and goal at the 1. Here is Foster in for the touchdown.
Well, they're just making it look too easy. Lawrence Vickers gets a good block off the edge. And the right side of that offensive line, Marv, we keep talking about the job that they have done. Breesel and Winston. Look at the push, and that's too easy for a guy like Arian Foster. They just went right down the field on that drive.
Neil Rackers attempting the extra point. The Texans continue to shred through the Titans. You can get the edge you need to win your fantasy league. Interactive tools, award-winning player rankings, and expert chats throughout the week at cbssports.com/fantasy news. Rackers getting set to kick it away to Mark Mariani. 27-0 lead for Houston. Mariani gets across the 20-yard line. Brian Braben makes the stop, 23-yard return. It has been a very enjoyable afternoon for that man.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Outback Steakhouse. It's always fresh in the Outback. And by the Home Depot. More saving, more doing. That's the power of the Home Depot.
Welcome back to Nashville, and those numbers tell the story. Look at the disparity. Yards per play. Texans shade over 9 as compared to the Titans. Hasselbeck with the completion to Ringer. Javon Ringer out of the backfield and has a first down. He goes for 17. We have heard very few cheers from this Titans crowd, a lot of booing, and that brought on some cheers. 1st and 10, across the 40-yard line. Again, it's Ringer coming on for Chris Johnson, who has had another disastrous day. 18 yards rushing on 10 attempts.
Yeah, not been good. And when you're struggling a little bit offensively, Marv, I think it makes some sense to change things up and go with your no-huddle approach.
Off the pump fake. Lavelle Hawkins with a Tennessee first down.
Yeah, and what this does is it puts a little bit more of the pressure now on Wade Phillips in this Houston defense. You see right there working back up underneath a little crossing route. Very good at that, Lavelle Hawkins, but now this makes it difficult for Wade Phillips to make substitutions and to dial up all those blitzes with this no-huddle offense.
An advance of 12 and a first down at the Texan 45. There's Ringer finding some room. Javon Ringer run out by Bryce McCain, and a penalty flag is thrown.
After the play, personal foul, unnecessary roughness. Defense number 31, late hit out of bounds. Half the distance to the goal, first down.
Late hit called on Shiloh Ko, who is just up from the practice squad, a rookie from Idaho.
Yeah, you just look right here. Look, if they're playing man-to-man coverage, and you see McCain, he doesn't even realize that Ringer's running with the football. He's 25 yards downfield, and that's what happens when you play all that man-to-man coverage and you have your back turned to the line of scrimmage.
1st and 10, just outside the 10. And now Chris Johnson is back on the field. Play fake. Hasselbeck. Tim Jamison putting the pressure on.
There's some great reactions by Matt Hasselbeck, Marv. He is not happy, and you know, I think back to how I was as a player. You can see this. He's yelling at the sidelines. I don't know if it's Chris Palmer, the offensive coordinator, or his teammates. I was even more vocal and demonstrative at times. My mother never particularly cared for it. No, she would sit home and watch.
Didn't care for you, or didn't care for the...
I don't know if she cared for all the outward displays of emotion, and maybe at times even my language.
No. Little fake on the snap. It did not get anything as Hawkins made the catch. Stopped by Joseph. I think Matt Hasselbeck was surprised by that quick snap.
Well, I think what happens is Amano just snaps it before anyone else is actually moving. Quarterback's not ready for it. And it's never a good thing when the center forgets the snap count. The only thing worse, I think, is when the quarterback forgets the snap count.
Yep. Now, I know that's never happened.
Never.
3rd down and 11. With Bobble on the snap. Johnson battles his way toward the 5 and then was pushed back. Troy Nolan made the play. Nolan coming on for the injured Danielle Manning. So that's a 4-yard pickup.
Watch the quarterback-center exchange. I mean, clearly he doesn't get this one. Nice job, though, not panicking. He knows he's got some pressure off the edge. He kicks it out to Chris Johnson. Chris Johnson's got to make somebody miss, Marv. You know, these are the big plays that he made a year ago that he's not making now. Where he's out in space, where he's got a chance to make someone miss and use his speed.
So when you're down 27-0, you go for it on 4th and 6 from outside the 6. Hasselbeck to the end zone. Touchdown. Jared Cook with the touchdown catch.
But really a nice job. They move Cook out as a wide receiver, and they get him matched up on KO, and that's just a nice throw by Matt in the back of the end zone. You've got to sit in there now with a tough jaw to make that throw.
Hasselbeck taking a pretty good hit from Antonio Smith. The Titans are on the board. It took quite some time, 5.5 remaining in the third quarter. Rob Baronis puts it through. Texans with a 27-7 lead on the Titans. A moment ago, Jared Cook with his second touchdown catch of the season. 8 plays, 76 yards. And a good drive by Matt Hasselbeck. There is Baronis with the line drive. And it skips by Trendon Holiday. They'll bring it out to the 20-yard line. Thursday on CBS. There's never been a better time to watch Person of Interest. New episode Thursday only on CBS. Well, if Houston can hang on, and they have the big lead, the Texans would go to 4-3, and they would take the lead in the AFC South, a half game over Tennessee. And because of that division tiebreaker when it comes to the playoffs, in effect, it would be a 1.5 game lead. Arian Foster. This time he is ridden out of bounds. Michael Griffin took him out, but Foster goes for 8. It's been a terrific day for the 3-year man out of the University of Tennessee. How about those numbers? Over 100 in both rushing and receiving.
And that's the first time that's ever happened for a Houston Texan. And we talked about how good he is, Marv, not only on the ground, but in the passing game. That shot doesn't have the guy he's looking for downfield. He comes right back underneath to Arian Foster.
Foster put the brakes on, try to make the cut. Stopped by Dave Ball. Time for an NFL Today update. JB and Coach Bill Cowher.
And the update involves Cam.
Yeah, he looks like a young Rich Gannon running around, 16 yards out. His 7th rushing touchdown of the year. 141 yards also passing. Carolina 16-6.
You're right, Coach. Rich Gannon would be able to
He could run now. He could scramble.
I hear you, Marv and Rich.
The guy's very impressed with your early
That was
speed.
a long time ago. I don't know if Coach Cowher even remembers that, but Cam Newton, Marv, been very impressive.
3rd and a yard. As Foster stretches, and let's see where they mark it. It is a first down.
Well, it's been a big day so far for Matt Schaub. I like the fact that they've been moving him around outside the pocket. Done a nice job finding these tight ends. You see, nice 10-yard strike to his tight end Joel Dreesen. And then this big play here, a 78-yard throw to Arian Foster. And a lot of them, Marv, have come off the play-action game. The boots and in naked. You can see Gary Kubiak there. Quarterback, play-caller relationship, very good here in Houston.
Ben Tate has come on and takes the handoff. He has run well. Gets up to the 35, picked up 4. Set for another update, JB and Coach Cowher.
A successful business trip so far for the Bears,
I'll tell you
Marv.
what, Chicago's looking good. Marion Barber 12 yards out, 21-5 up. Tampa Bay, another disappointing performance following an impressive win.
6:55 left in the third period of play. Back to Marv Albert and Rich Gannon.
Well, I know if Coach Cowher was calling plays in Chicago, they'd run it a whole lot more than they throw it with Jay Cutler. And that's really been the problem. You look at what Mike Martz, problems that they've had when they've gotten away from the run.
2nd down and 5 at the 35-yard line. Schaub completes to Jacoby Jones for another Houston first down. Picked up 20. Cortland Finnegan making the stop. And there is the perennial Pro Bowler, Andre Johnson.
It's amazing how things change with Andre Johnson not in the game, Marv, for Houston. You think that you're going to roll coverage that way without him in there. I think you've seen more blitz over the last couple weeks. Certainly Oakland and Baltimore got after him. And then you also see more 8-man front because they're not worried about getting beat deep.
There's Foster on a sweep. Gary Kubiak telling us yesterday he is hoping that Andre is able to return next week for a home game against Jacksonville, sidelined by hamstring issues. Had minor surgery on his right leg a couple of weeks back.
Isn't it amazing? Really incredible how much of a role they've been on offensively. A lot of big plays. And Gary's been dialing him up. And Marv, you talked about not having Andre Johnson, arguably your best offensive player, not having Mario Williams, your best defensive player, and that's had a huge impact on them, but they've found a way to continue to keep on rolling.
2nd and 7 at the Tennessee 42. Short set by Schaub, leaping catch made, short of a first down. Bryant Johnson picked up 6 on that reception.
Well, they're doing a good job keeping Tennessee off balance by throwing the ball a little bit on the early downs and, of course, running that stretch play. And they've not done a good job. You look at this Tennessee defense setting the edge, forcing the runners back up inside, or the backside cutbacks. That's where the big runs have come for Houston.
Foster peels off, so Vickers in the backfield, and that's his first carry. Lawrence Vickers at fullback for the injured James Casey, who was out with an injured chest. Vickers, one-time Cleveland Brown, stopped by Malcolm Shepard.
All right, just a little bit short there. You know, they just give the fullbacks a carry every now and then just to keep them interested. He's in there for one reason, open up some big holes for Arian Foster and Ben Tate.
Looks like Derek Kubiak is going to go for it here on 4th and inches. Just outside the Titan 35, Foster and Vickers in the backfield. Foster gets the call. Foster not able to scramble for the first down. He was kept away from the marker. Good job by defensive end Jason Jones. That may have been the best defensive play of the game for the Titans.
Well, it was a really nice play. Watch Barrett Root. He's going to scrape. He gets the initial contact after Jason Jones right there. And then McCourty does a nice job cleaning it up.
Rich, the Texans had scored on their last 5 possessions, not able to keep it alive on that last possession. So the Titans take over 1st and 10 from their 36. Hasselbeck steps up, sidearms. Catch made by Lavelle Hawkins, and now they say incomplete. It's covered by Jonathan Joseph, not able to hang on off that hit.
Well, a little bit of a momentum change here, Marv. You know, Tennessee went down and scored. Defense goes out and gets a critical stop on 4th down, and now if they can get something going here as we finish up the 3rd and head into the 4th, I mean, they could get themselves right back in this ball game.
15 seconds remaining 3rd quarter. Hasselbeck's pass thrown in a crowd and nearly intercepted. Again, intended for Hawkins.
Well, Matt got a little greedy there, and that's unfortunate. We talk about not passing up the first one for the second one. Go ahead and roll it. Just watch Nate Washington right here in the middle of the screen. That's where the ball's got to go, but instead he tries to jam this one up into double coverage. That almost got picked off. You never go broke taking a profit.
10 seconds remaining here in the 3rd quarter. Would you repeat that again?
You never go broke taking a profit. Throw it to the guy that's open. Not that hard.
I'm writing it down as Hasselbeck is sacked by J.J. Watt. First sack of the day for the Texans, 2nd of the season for Watt. And that brings us to the end of the 3rd quarter. The score, the Texans 27, the Titans 7. We'll be back here in Nashville with more prophetic sayings from Rich after a word from your local station. Well, the Houston Texans coming into today have certainly had their problems holding on to leads 2 straight weeks. Games on the line of the 4th quarter. The Texans fell short. They have a sizable lead here against the Titans as this 4th quarter gets underway. And the punting unit has come on for the 6th time. Holiday is back. And flag is thrown. Punt goes 44 yards. Let's see what this flag is all about as we wait for referee Terry McCauley.
Unsportsmanlike conduct on the kicking team, number 37, went out of bounds and did not return immediately. 15-yard penalty added to the end of the play. First down.
It's called on Tommy Campbell, a backup defensive back.
Well, you look at the left side of your screen, you can't run down. You got to try and get back on the field. Now, it makes more sense to me just to run down there where you're not going to get blocked. It's safe, just run right down. That's a foolish penalty there. You can just see Mike Munchak not happy. Too many mistakes today for this Tennessee team, offensively, defensively, as well as the kicking game.
All right, the Texans back to the offense. Arian Foster picks up a couple. Well, where can you hear Steve Jobs talking about his amazing life? Only on 60 Minutes, his authorized biography. That's tonight, only CBS.
They're all one-sided. You look at the offense today. Houston 441 yards, 8.3, and 3 touchdowns. And kind of a possession, a big story as well.
Job off the play fake. Once again, able to connect with a tight end. This time it's Joel Dreesen. He and Daniels have had their way. Babineau makes the stop. It's a 21-yard reception.
Well, I've said a number of times today, you better have a plan for how you're going to account for these tight ends in the offense. If it's not Owen Daniels, it's been Joel Dreesen. Do a good job crossing the field, and these linebackers are having a very difficult time staying with the tight ends.
And the two tight ends, Daniels and Dreesen, have combined to make 6 catches for 102 yards, including a touchdown. First down at the 29 in Tennessee territory. Foster slipped, lost his balance. Covered up by Barrett Rude. Picked up a couple on the play. Time for another update. JB and Coach Bill Cowher.
Plaxico predicted this will be a nice hookup.
This is the second touchdown of the day, JB. 4 yards right there. Back shoulder, Sanchez, a Plexico burst, and the Jets are making a comeback. 21-17 in the third.
Back to Marv and Rich.
Well, Rex has been talking about those Super Bowl rings. Marv Norv not at all happy about that. Knew that was going to come down to the end.
Well, North Turner unhappy with a couple of statements that Rex Ryan made earlier in the week. This is Ben Tate finding some running room, has a first down and more. Boy, does he run hard. Michael Griffin on the stop, and Tate picks up an additional 15 yards.
Well, they do a nice job. Wade Smith's going to get out in front of it. You see Tate do a nice job sealing the edge. And, boy, these guys run hard. Both Tate and Foster talked about coming into today's game, the only 2 backs in the AFC with both over 300 yards rushing, and they've been a great tandem here today as well.
8 carries, 76 yards for Tate. First and 10 at the Tennessee 12-yard line. Like Arian Foster limped off the field a moment ago, so Tate remaining in, and Tate straight ahead gets inside the 5. Ben Tate goes 5'11", about 220 pounds. Averaged just under 5 yards per carry coming into today.
Well, none of those blue jerseys are getting off the white jerseys. They're not disengaging, and we talked about how that offensive line has done a good job opening up holes, but the Tennessee defense has not done a good job shedding blocks.
First and goal just outside the 2. Here's Tate trying to pick his way and is turned back. Will Witherspoon made the play. Loss of 2.
Well, you just have, just when you think you've slowed the one back down, then they bring the other fresh one in. He goes over there and he gets a couple sips of Gatorade, and then they bring Arian Foster back in, and that's 230 yards. Look at that. That's an incredible day for Arian Foster. And that's what they can do. They can run when they run the ball well. So many good things happen off of it. A lot of it is the play action game with Matt Schaub on the edge.
Here is Foster. Can't find the opening. Stopped by Root and Witherspoon. He lost a yard on the play. And I have to say, Arian Foster, early line favorite for AFC Offensive Player of the Week.
I think you're probably right. Or just the way he's played. And I like the fact we always use that expression, he runs hungry. And you think about a guy that was undrafted, came in, had a fight to make the roster, and had that great breakout season a year ago. And I just remember talking to him this offseason. He says, I don't want to be a one-hit wonder. I want to come back and play at that same level each and every year.
Third down and goal outside the 5-yard line. Here's Foster running hard, and he scores. Another touchdown for Arian Foster. That is his third touchdown of the day.
Well, I want you to see how they work these combination blocks, how they get back up and they pass off. So the center and the guard, they work together, coming off on the nose. And then, of course, you see the left guard, Wade Smith. He gets up on the linebacker. They've done a really good job communicating up front, getting up on that second level. And the backs have run so hard and have been so decisive, cutting back up inside.
Here is Rackers. Just over 5 gone by in the fourth quarter. The Texans extend to a 34-7 lead on the Titans.
You're watching the NFL on CBS.
A reminder coming up on the Subway postgame. Join JB, Dan, Shannon, Boomer, and Coach Cower for all the latest NFL scores and highlights coming up on the Subway postgame show. Neil Rackers gets set to kick it away to Mark Mariani. Texans have a 34-7 lead. They have been outscored in the second half of every game coming into today. Different story with a 14-7 edge in the second half on Tennessee. Good return, but a hard hit to take Mariani down. Looked like Neil Rackers, the kicker, made contact. 29-yard return. And we will take a break.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by AT&T. Get it faster with 4G. Rethink possible. Jeep. Visit Jeep.com to learn more. And by Bud Light, the official beer sponsor of the NFL. Here we go.
Well, Neil Rackers, after that big hit on the kickoff return, getting handshakes all around. I know they call Brett Hartman his kicking partner hitman for a couple of pretty good shots that he has delivered. That pass intended for Nate Washington, but Neil may claim that nickname.
We got to go back and look a couple times to make sure it was actually Rackers. You don't see kickers stick their head in there like that. That's a pretty good form tackle. I think it caught Mariani by surprise.
2nd and 10 from the 25-yard line. We are early fourth. Texans with a 34-7 lead on the Titans. Hasselbeck's pass picked off on a deflection and is intercepted by McCain. Bryce McCain cuts back the other way, picks up a blocker and takes it in. Bryce McCain, a 6th-round pick out of Utah 3 years ago. The interception off a deflection and takes it in from 37 yards away.
Well, he's had to let go of a couple throws early, Marv, as receivers were still coming out of routes, and this doesn't seem like he's been on the same page with some of these receivers. We saw 2 interceptions today where he let go of the ball early, trusting that the receivers would be where he anticipated. Here's the hitman, Neil Rackers.
He puts it right through. Bryce McCain giving the Texans a 41-7 lead. Gil Racker is getting set to kick it off. And Mariani on the return is taken down. Brian Bremen on the stop, and apparently Jake Locker will come on for Matt Hasselbeck.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Subway. Go bold with breakfast and try the Sunrise Subway Melt today. And by In Time. Friday, only in theaters.
The rookie out of the University of Washington, Jake Locker, has come on for the Titans. His second appearance, played briefly at Cleveland several weeks back. On that last interception by Hasselbeck, took a hit to the thumb, and Locker was taken down back at the 5 or 6 yard line by Connor Barwin. And whether Hasselbeck was lifted because of what's going on in this game and that the fact that the Titans are well behind, or whether he is hurt, is the question.
Yeah, it looked like he hit his right thumb on Antonio Smith as they were coming through there.
Devon Ringer gets out to the 10.
You get a good look at him right there, Marv, with that right thumb and that cup of ice. And I think it's just a decision by Mike Munchak to be smart with the quarterback. You're behind 41-7 inside 9 minutes. Let's take a look at your first rounder.
And Locker completes. Lavelle Hawkins lost his balance and ends up out of bounds because he had more room. He's short of a first down. He picked up 12. Jake Locker, first round draft pick, the 8th selection overall out of the University of Washington. And it is a 4th and about 3, so they will punt. Trendon Holiday is back deep. It's been a very busy day for the punter, Brett Kern. It's his 7th of the afternoon. And a penalty flag is thrown. May have been delay of game.
But Brett Kern's got to ice that leg tomorrow morning.
Offense number 51.
False
5 yard
start.
penalty. 4th down.
Gerald McGrath was called on the penalty.
Too many punts today for this offense. And see 6 punts already for 7.
And here's Kern back behind his 10-yard line. Gets the good hang time and a fair catch made by Holiday. 43-yard punt. Well, 2 weeks from last night, Saturday, November 5th, in prime time, it's number 1 LSU facing number 2 Alabama, one of the great matchups of the season. It's been moved to prime time. LSU coming off the win over Auburn, Alabama beating Tennessee. 2 of 8 undefeated teams remaining in the Bowl Championship Series, and it will be seen right here on CBS. Saturday night, November the 5th. Here's Tate. Ben Tate, who has certainly received his share of playing time, although Arian Foster has had a sensational day.
He has, Marvin. You look at Tate, he's fixing to go over 100 yards as well on the ground. I mean, they've been outstanding, over 200 yards rushing so far for both of these backs. And you look at Arian Foster, he was limited to just 15 yards rushing the last meeting between these two teams. Already 115 today, 2 touchdowns, and another 119 on 5 catches.
And Rich, looking at the problems of the Titans today, not that this necessarily will solve it, is that Tate is taken down to the 41, picked up 2 on the play. But during the week, head coach Mike Munchak was hit with many questions concerning the possibility of interest in Terrell Owens, who is said to be healthy and ready to work out for teams coming off the knee surgery. Munchak said if Owens is truly healthy, you're going to take a look at it. Kind of a generic statement.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I've heard that he's in the best shape of his life. I don't know how you're 38 years old and you're coming off of an ACL surgery that you're going to be in the best shape of your life. I think his best days are behind him.
Owens played college ball at the University of Tennessee, Chattanooga.
Oh, 2 guys moving at once. Somebody's got to reset.
Timeout is called by the Texans.
Charge timeout, Houston. 30-second timeout.
Well, it's been one of those days. Look at the season highs that they've set today. Points, first downs, rushing yards, total yards. I mean, they've really essentially called off the Dogs, almost 500 yards of offense, and it's been incredible. And it's all started with the productive running game, and they got Ben Tate going, and he's run hard, and he's coming in, done a nice job spelling this guy right here, Arian Foster, but he's just had an outstanding day. And you really got to give a lot of credit, Marv, the job that this offensive line has done. They really have won the battle in the trenches.
And the Texans' running game had not been productive in the losses to Oakland and Baltimore. Here's Tate battling for that first down. Picks up 8. Carl Klug was able to make the stop.
Well, this is going to be a long day tomorrow for Titans players in those meeting rooms watching this tape. And, you know, we talked with Mike Munchak, Marv, about this exact thing. You know, he said that we finally had some film of ourselves to watch through that bye week, and he said the running game's not where it needs to be. Defensively, we've been inconsistent. The mistakes, the penalties, the third down defense, and he said we're going to hold players accountable. We're going to name names if we have to in those meeting rooms.
See a lot of names to be named. Derek Ward has come on for the first time. This is Ward. Gets to the 45 in Houston territory, stopped by Michael Griffin. Derek Ward in his 8th season out of Ottawa, school in Kansas. Picked up 5. Looking ahead for the Houston Texans with a win today, they go to 4-3. Home for Jacksonville next week. Home for Cleveland. Then at Tampa Bay, followed by their bye week.
Yeah, it's a really, I would say, favorable schedule when you look at how well they're playing, and they've got a chance, I think, to get Andre Johnson back here the next week or 2. That's only going to help.
Second down at 5 at the Tennessee 44. And Ward again gets the call. Picked up just a yard. We're ready for another update. JB and Coach Bill Cowher.
Detroit within 4 because
Megatron, Rich, you like throwing to this guy, Calvin Johnson. He goes up for the ball and he catches a ball, breaks tackles, 57 yards. The Detroit Lions trail 20-16. Can they do it against a quality team like Atlanta? Another come from behind win.
Stay tuned. Marv and Rich.
Well, Coach, you know I like throwing to anybody, but that guy right there, special player.
Ben Tate is back. And that Houston backfield, he's carried it 13 times for 95 yards. I'd like to get him over 100. And they do. First down. Picked up by Tate. Stopped by McCourty.
What's amazing about this, Marv, is it's only come on 14 carries for Ben Tate. You look at the yards per carry, even for Arian Foster. I mean, they picked up big chunks of yardage running the football today. And Gary Kubiak told us last night, he said, I've got to stay committed to the running game regardless of how things start out in this game, and he's done just that.
Just under 3.5 remaining in the 4th. Texans with a 41-7 lead on the Titans. Again, it is Tate. He is gang tackled. Well, when we started back some 3 hours ago, it was a crowd of close to 70,000, the 129th consecutive sellout, and most of this crowd has departed, as you can see here at LP Field, with the Tennessee Titans on the way to getting blown out for a second straight game. 2 weeks ago, prior to the bye, they were beaten by the Steelers 38-17. Meanwhile, Houston, a team that has had its difficulties winning on the road, coming up with a huge performance here today. Derek Ward goes for 3.
Well, you look at that number right there. Look, first time in almost 22 years that they've allowed 2 100-yard rushers, and you take offense to that if you're Mike Munchak. And coming off of a bye, you thought this team would be fresh. You thought they'd play hard, and they were flat. I mean, there's no other way around it. They did not play well, and they got pushed around up front.
But just off of the top of my head, those 2 running backs for the Steelers, Frank Pollard, Walter Abercrombie. 2 minutes remaining in this fourth quarter. It is a 3rd and 4. The Texans at the Tennessee 31-yard line. Derek Ward is stopped back behind the line. Aaron Kubiak able to go to 3 running backs, starting with Arian Foster and Ben Tate. Both had sensational days, and now Derek Ward is in there. 500-plus total yards for only the 3rd time in franchise history, which covers a 10-year stretch.
Yeah, that guy right there, Gary Kubiak, has done a nice job dialing him up today. You look at his play sheet right there, and did a good job protecting his quarterback. He said he'd protect his quarterback if they were able to run the football, and they did just that.
It's a 4th down and 7. And again, it is Ward, talking about 10-year history of the Houston Texans. The Titans with obvious ties to the city of Houston. The Houston Oilers moving to Tennessee in 1997. The Oilers, an original American Football League team that dates back to 1960, and they spent 36 years in Houston. Well, coming up on the Subway postgame, join JB, Dan, Shannon, Boomer, and Coach Bill Cowher for all the latest NFL scores. That's all coming up on the Subway postgame show. Von Ringer, Jake Locker at quarterback for Matt Hasselbeck. The expansion Texans began play 10 years ago in 2002 as the AFC South was formed. How about Wade Phillips, now the defensive coordinator, started out as the linebackers coach under his dad, former head coach of the Houston Oilers, Bump Phillips. 2nd down and 7. Here's Harper. And there is Wade Phillips taking over in his first season as defensive coordinator for the Texans. And the Houston Texans have blown out the Tennessee Titans 41-7. So they now 4-3 on top of the AFC South. Half game over Tennessee. The Titans dropped to 3-3, and they have lost their last 2. For Houston, their first road win of the season. Marv Albert, Rich Gannon saying so long from Nashville, Tennessee.